what would you recommend for someone, a rookie like myself? What is like the must have of everyday carry? Like, I don't want to show up and be like, oh, you don't have that. Everyone's supposed to have that.
I mean, if you're doing armed security, you want to have a weapon. Do you have a firearm?
I don't, not yet.
Okay, so if you're gonna buy a firearm, I might upset some people, but I'm just gonna tell you what I think. It's like firearms are like gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Glock guys, you got SIG guys, you got Beretta dudes, H&K guys. I'm just gonna say, just get a Glock 19. Okay, it's the most dependable. I think it's a perfect pistol. I think it's like perfect. It's small enough to conceal if you need to conceal it, if you have to go CCW. It's big enough to where if you have to go exposed, you don't look weird. Everyone knows a Glock 19 is enough gun to fight somebody. And you want to make sure you have a good holster with some retention. So if you're going in an exposed format, you need to have at least a level 1 holster. So that means you need to have something on the holster, like at least a snap, but preferably some type of button to stop the weapon from simply being able to be taken out of the holster. The other most important thing on me at all times is my light. If you can get like a pocket IFAK, like a tourniquet, it's good to have a tourniquet on your body as well. Depending on what type of work you're doing, cuffs, restraints are good if you're doing exposed work. If you're doing EP style work, cuffs are less desirable. Plain clothes work, you generally want to leave the area. Now, if you're doing residential work though, because you might start on a residence, you want to make sure you have cuffs or some type of restraints. You can have zip tie restraints like the Aspen zip tie restraints, or a pair of cuffs. Make sure you have a key to those as well. And then the other thing that's really cool, if you have, but it depends, because it depends on the radio gear, the equipment they give you, is a good surveillance kit. So that's like the kit that plugs into your radio and goes to your ears. You can get the conventional pigtail. If you're just starting out, that's fine. Get the wires for the most common types of radios. But when you want to upgrade, In-Ear is a company that makes really, really good surveillance kits. If you're in a suit, there are a few rules. One, a lot of details ask for black suits, so you have to get a black suit. It's just part of the game. A lot of details are like black suit or dark suit. Black is kind of like, are you a waiter? Are you the bellboy? You're gonna get my keys, pull my car up? What are you gonna do? Now, sometimes it's required because you're in like a bouncer or security format, or just the owner of your company is kind of old school and they want you in black suits, so you have to have a black suit for those occasions. But whenever you can get away with it, go with a dark suit, like a dark gray, like a charcoal gray. It just psychologically, you're of a higher pedigree if you're in a dark suit. If you're in a black suit, you're working, you're the help. White shirts mean professional, black shirts, unprofessional. Black suit, white shirt, black tie. Personally, I like to throw in a little bit of color on the tie. It's just a much more professional look. Blues and reds is a more presidential look, Secret Service look. And that's no patterns on the suits. And then buttons, you never button a suit unless you have, advantages. Like my gray man suit has a fake button, has fake buttons on it. So if I throw one button up top, it's because it's a snap, and it's the exact same draw stroke for me to pull my weapon as it is if I was wearing a t-shirt. So now I blend in even more. I look like a civilian, but I'm in a suit, and it's kind of like, oh, is this guy working, or is this guy like, what is this guy? With the buttons from the bottom up, it's from the top down, it's always, sometimes, and never. So never button your bottom suit button. Sometimes you could do the second one. The top one stays buttoned if it's a really nice event, but don't even worry about that. I would suggest don't button your suit, because then other EP dudes will be like, look at this guy, like, he's even working, like, that's unprofessional.
When do you want to use armor?
To me, armor directly correlates with your threat level. So if you're, also working in an exposed format, if your gun's exposed, like, I like to have armor if my gun's exposed, because you're the first target. So if the weapon's exposed, I got body armor on. If my emblems and stuff exposed, I like to have body armor on. threat level with clients, if they have active threats against them and you're, doing like a witness protection situation, or, a legitimate crew is after your client, that's when you want to make sure and have, the body armor on and stuff like that. And then it also depends on your client.
I have my own personal vehicles, but I don't have nothing flashy or, fancy. I just have a little Nissan Sentra. So it's getting something, a bigger, maybe a SUV vehicle, something that I need to look forward to in the future, or in case I may take a client with me, or.
Yeah, I'd say for now, like, these clients aren't expecting you to be a millionaire or a billionaire, right? As far as you needing to go out and buy another car, don't do that until you're ready. The main thing is that when they get in that car, if for some reason they're like, hey, if something happens and you're like, well, sir, I've got my vehicle here if we need it, if we absolutely need to transport you because the limo didn't show up or the driving service didn't show up, that they get in your car and it's nice and clean and professional, because they're gonna be judging you on that. Okay.